Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? So am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible to me.
To all the faculty members, can you hear me? Members, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Great. Are you in the college, university, or are you joining in from a remote location? The person who responded. Are you in the university, ma'am? Whosoever just
Sir, some are in the university, some others are joining from the remote location.
Right. So are you from where are you speaking? Are you from the university? So what screen I see right now is a faculty.
No. I am from a remote location.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Because I think my concern is the members who have joined us from the university, they're not able to hear me because I'm not getting any response from them. ICFAI Law School faculty members sitting in I think, your class. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are getting.
Perfect, sir.
Sir, not audible.
Sir, are you joining from the remote location? So please. We are live on YouTube as well. I hope you have received the YouTube link as well. So members who have not been would not be able to join us through Teams, they can join us through the YouTube link.
Chetan sir, shall I share the YouTube link in the chat?
Yeah, please do that. Members who have joined us today, please be advised that let me just mute everyone. Just a minute. Okay, I have muted everyone so that you can hear me clearly. That's what was, I think, becoming a bit of a challenge for everyone to understand what I was saying. So we have copy pasted the link in the chat of this meeting. So anyone who would like to join can join through Microsoft Teams. The link has already been provided by the library in charge, ma'am. Or you can also join through YouTube. I would request the students who have joined us and the faculty members if they can share both the links in their WhatsApp groups so that members who are trying to join in can join us from there. Right now on YouTube, I have 25 members who have joined us. And barring that, on this call, we have approximately 25, 26 people from the university. So I'm expecting more participation. I'm expecting somewhere around 700. That was a number given to me. So let us know, because the time was at 12 and it's 12:10. So is Padmavati ma'am over here? Padmavati ma'am, can you hear me?
Chetan sir, your mic is mute.
So as for the update, we'll be waiting for 5 more minutes before we start the session. Could I request the students to please share the link with other students so that, and ask them to join on time, considering that we have classes from 1:30. And if we start late, we would not be able to complete this on time. So accordingly, I would request that if members can join in time, and then we can start the product detailing and the session, and try to finish it up before 1:30. We're just waiting for 5 more minutes, and then we will, and now I think 3 more minutes, and then we'll start the session. In the meantime, we can, just a moment. So in the meantime, what we can do is we have another 2 minutes before we start the session. If any one of you has any concern or anything that is specific that you would like to talk about, or you want us to cover it for you, you can let us know now. Otherwise, we can start the detailing of the session, and once the detailing of the session is over, we will take the question answer round. However, the purpose of asking for the question beforehand is, if you have any doubts, we will make sure that we cover those in our session, during a session, so that we can save some more time in the question answer round. So if you have any questions, please you can ask now. Otherwise, we'll start with our usual pattern and the example that we have made for today's session. If anyone has any question, please ask. You can ask, you can unmute yourself, or you can put it in the chat. We can take it from there. Mohit or Mr. Raina, one of you can put on the YouTube in front of you, just to keep, just to ensure
Yes,
that.
sir, I've already opened it.
It's already opened, yeah.
Okay, great. So if there is any lag over there, or there is any technical issue, then we can just let us know. I have it on my tab. I have it open on my one of my screen, but I would not be able to look at it very often. But yeah. So we will work as a team like always, and then we'll see, to ensure that everyone can see us and can listen to us.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm waiting for 1 more minute, and I don't see any numbers increasing. A humble request to all the students, please share the link of this meeting with other students so that they can join in. I've been told that we have approximately 700 plus members in the university, and with everyone included as in faculty and other members, other important members. I think the number goes around 900. So if not 900, at least 700 I was expecting. But this number is way too different than what we were expecting. So if you can help us reach the masses, I think that'll be much more meaningful, much more helpful for others to learn from today's session. Okay, I think we are good to go now. I think we should not keep other members waiting for the session. So whosoever has joined in, we'll start with them. Let me start the recording of this session. Okay. So good morning, everyone. Rather good afternoon now. When we started, it was morning. Now we've moved to the next leg of the day, that is the afternoon. Today's session is about SCC Online. We'll talk about how to do research on SCC Online. What does SCC Online provides you? What all is available to you? Then we'll also be talking about the special features that only SCC Online has, and which can be a benefit, which will aid your research, which will fasten your research process. Having said that, I would also like to tell you that this session, that whatever learnings that you will have from this session, you can apply it any other legal research software, is also on Google, because legal research has some certain common factors, some certain common features or steps that applies to all the researchers, irrespective of any software that you use. So what we're going to learn today is going to help us do research in other softwares as well. My name is Chetan Singh, and I'll be your trainer for today's session. Along with me, I have my team of trainers. I have Mr. Mohit Singh, I have Mr. Rajesh Raina, and a person who's responsible to take care of the southern region the regional manager of Southern Region, that is Mr. Sanjeev Chaudhary. He's also there. So together as a team, we'll be taking you through this software. And like I said in the starting, that if you have any questions pertaining to anything that we are showing, we can, there's an option on the screen wherein you can raise your hand. There's a button over there. You can see it on the screen. It'll be either on the top or at the center of the screen. I'll show it to you once I share my screen. You can click on the raise hand icon, and we will call out your name, and then you can ask the question. This is to ensure that the decorum and the ease of working on this online portal is maintained. Because if everyone talks together, we will not be able to understand anyone. So with the hand raise, we can, make it like a queue sort of thing, and then we can ask question one by one. Otherwise, you can wait for me to complete the entire session, and then we can get into the question answer round. That will be happening in the last. In case you cannot, if you're not able to hear me, if there is any breakage of any sort, or there is some problem in terms of my sharing of my screen, my request would be that you can switch off your video. That saves a lot of bandwidth. If not, then just put it in the chat option that you're not able to hear me or something. We will check with everyone. If everyone has faces the same issue, then I'll check certain things at my end. If not, then I would request you to re-log in one more time. Just give me a moment. No problem. So let's start with this. Now, first and the foremost, let me start sharing, start the session with sharing with my screen. So I click on this. Mohit, please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes.
And the bandwidth is okay. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was talking about the hand raise. So there's a hand raise option over here itself. So you can click on this, and there will be the hand raise. So if I click on this, you'll see it over here quickly. So if I do this hand raise, you see a hand next to my name over here, right? So this way we will be able to see that who has a question, and then accordingly we can take their name and then take the question. Now let's start with this session. I'm sure, considering that the faculty members are here and the students are here, I'll be making this session a combination of basic to advanced and anything in between. So there'll be a lot of information will be coming for you on this session. Do not worry. Whatever that we're going to be speaking in this session is getting recorded first. Second, we have training manuals of one page available on the website itself. So you don't have to, worry that whatever that we've learned, how will we remember all the stuff? Okay. Having said that, let's start with the first and the foremost thing, which is really, really important. That is, what is the data that we'll be, diving in? Because making a research tool, making an interface is one thing, but doing a research, fetching out for the data, that takes a lot of time. So, that is the interface part, but what is the data that is available? That is something we'll talk about in the first to start with. So let me start with this data coverage. Now, how we reached over here, we went to scconline.com, we typed it over here, and we got this particular portal. Otherwise, even if you do a Google search and in Google you write SCC Online, please be apprised it is SCC, SCC, not SSC. So a lot of people, I think, tend to do a mistake in the starting. Once you are in the fraternity, you would not forget SCC anyways. So there we have it. You click on SCC, and then the full screen of the landing page of SCC Online website will be in front of you. The first thing, like I said, data coverage. Web edition, because that's what the software we are going to be talking about. Excuse me. Now, if I scroll down further, whatever we're going to be accessing today has been listed down over here so that you have that guarantee, have that, ease to see and to update yourself what database that we are accessing from and from which year to which year, what is the period that information is available. So now if you see it is Supreme Court of India. Supreme Court of India judgment from 1950 till date is available over here. So it says contains Supreme Court. And then it says true print. It says true print. True print basically means that it has an exact photocopy of the journal available in front of you. So you can search on the software, but also it will give you the access to the actual physical volume format. Basically, the book, the way the judgment were printed in the books, you can get the same printout over here without going to your library, without accessing the physical library, right? So that is not done only for Supreme Court, but for other courts as well. Now, if you see the before independent judgment, that is Federal Court and Privy Council judgments, those are available. Now, those of you who know about Indian appeal, like about Privy Council and Federal Court would agree with me that Privy Council was not starting from 1800, but was starting from way before that, because Privy Council was not only active in India, per se, but all the colonies that Britishers had under them at that point of time. But what are we providing over here? We are providing you only Indian content of the Privy Council, which started from the year 1836. So 1836 to 1949 available over here. Please take someone's mic is unmuted. So that takes care of this. So it takes care of the Privy Council from that Indian era. Then all the high courts are available over here. So if I click on the high courts, all the high courts are available here with the true prints. This also gives you the true prints. Then you have your few handpicked judgments of district courts. I think 2021 judgments on district courts, which were really important. Then historical courts, similar to the Privy Council. Privy Council was the apex court, then the federal court, and then we had the provincial, then we had the high courts, and then we had the provincial courts, which were small areas.
Sorry to interrupt you, Chetan sir. I believe ICFAI Law School is getting some technical problem at their end. ICFAI Law School, can you see the screen sharing now?
Did they say anything?
Yeah, they're not able to see the screen.
Sorry, sir. I couldn't understand what you said.
I'm saying that we can see the screen, but nothing is loading up on the screen. It's just a white screen.
Mohit, could you understand what sir is saying? I'm not able to understand. I think, sir, it's.
Could you please drop us a message in the chat box, sir?
Sir, are you saying that you're not able to hear my voice? Is that what you're saying? ICFAI Law School faculty member, sir, are you saying that you're not able to hear my voice?
Screen is just white screen. That's what they have listed over here.
Screen is just a white screen.
Net issue. Slow internet.
Sir, I would suggest that you can switch off your video. That will save some bandwidth. I think it's an internet issue at your end, because I think other members can see my screen being shared. So yes, now I'm gonna reshare it for you. I'm gonna reshare my screen, and I would request you to please confirm now that if you can see my screen or not. You can confirm in the chat option if you can see the white screen, which has red tabs.
Yeah, they are able to see now, Chetan.
Okay, thank you. So this is the bandwidth issue, like we spoke in the starting, that for certain bandwidth issues, use better usage of the video. It saves some bandwidth and helps you with the faster internet. Now let's keep going with ahead of this. So we were talking about the data coverage. So just to bring the faculty member up to speed, what we were discussed, we were on the website, we were on the SCC online. And from here, we just clicked on the data coverage. From data coverage, we clicked on web edition. And at web edition, we were discussing about that we have Supreme Court, we have Federal Court, we have Privy Council, we have High Courts, we have District Court, and we were on the historical courts. So historical courts like Pepsu, Awadh, Lower Burma, Lahore courts, all the other courts that we had earlier before independence, small provincial courts, those judgments are also available here. Then several tribunals and commissions judgments like APTEL, TDSITE, ISAT, Labor Court, Consumer Court, all these are also available over here. Then apart from that, you have your statutory law, which has all your central acts. You have your state acts, rules and regulations, circulars, notification instructions, bills as they were passed in one of the houses or as introduced in one of the houses. Those are also available here, along with the constitutional orders of time to time which comes in. So those are also available over here. Then moving to the secondary material, this gives you access to the Constituent Assembly debates, which is very, very important for the faculty members to tell their students that rather than just reading the Constitution of India, I think they need to go through the Constituent Assembly debate, which is the core, which is the backbone of the Constitution as we know it. And for students, I think it is also should be a proactive step that you should be taking towards your future. That is, going through the Constituent Assembly debates, understanding why a certain thing, why a particular article was brought in, and why it says what it says in the Constitution. All that answers are given in the Constituent Assembly debate, because the intent of anything which was brought in the final draft of the Constitution was discussed in these debates. So it will help you a lot. Then apart from that, we have your reports of commission and committees. We'll take you through other commissions which supports sometimes the framing of the actual legislation as we know it, actual acts. One of which is very, really important, which I think is formed for the same reason, to bring out reforms in the current existing acts. That is the Law Commission of India report. So Law Commission of India reports are also available over here from the inception. That is, I think, 1956. And the last one came in 2018. All those are available over here. I think approximately 257 reports are available over there, so you can access it at any point of time. And apart from that, you have legal articles from 35 Indian plus 15 international jurisdictions, which also includes SCC journal section. So print judgments, articles which are printed in the books, SCC books, those are also available over here. And then we have this Practical Lawyer magazine that I'm sure your university would be subscribing to. So you can get access to that particular article which are published over there. Apart from that, there are the list of other journals that we are covering from all over India and from few neighboring countries. The list is I can keep going on this, but I think I've given you a heads up on how you can go through the list, how you can see what is made available to you. Now let me start with first logging in. You would have these two options. One is user login, the otherwise IP login. You need to always go through IP login. I believe you already have a software in place which gives you access to databases from remote location. Even if you're not in the university, you can access all these things. So you have to go through that remote access software. Now, once you do that, it always should give you user login and IP login. In case it does not give you this option, that is IP login, you would not be able to log in. So this is something that is must. Okay. So if you open SCC Online directly through Google and not through your IP through your remote login software, you would not get this IP login option. Okay. So if you have any questions more on that, I can keep it to the last, and then we can take one-to-one queries if you need more information on that how we need to do it and all stuff. So in IP login, you can put in your email address. So my registered email address on this IP is this. That is my official ID. I can copy it. However, if you're coming on this portal for the first time, considering that a lot of you would be from the first year, then by putting your email ID, it will just say your ID is not registered over here. Please excuse me. So a registration is required. A one-time registration is required that everyone have to do. So you have to click on register here. I'm sorry. I click on register here. We click on your login ID. So it says, what is your login ID? I can put in my login ID. It says, what's your full name? I say my full name is Chetan Singh Gill, right? And just because this ID is already registered, I'm gonna make a slight change in my ID so that it becomes as a unique ID. Just to show you as an example, I click on register and login. It's gonna take me to the next screen. And while it takes the next screen, it says, please enter the year in which you will graduate. For the faculty members, you can skip. For the students, I would prefer you add 3 years from the date that you started this course, or 5 years, depending on if you have a 3 year or 5 years integrated course or like the full one, right? So you can do that. For now, I can skip, and then you will be logged in. The next time you come over here, you don't have to follow the entire process. You would all you need is just get to log in, get an IP access, put in your email address that you have registered with, and click on login now. It will take you to the software and show you the screen that we just spoke about. So far, so good. If you have any questions on this, you can unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat. Either the team of trainers that we have, either they can respond on the chat for you, or if something needs to be shown, I can show it to you on the screen. Okay. So now to start the session with, we have very limited time, so I'll be focusing this session on the basics and intermediate, because going to advanced will not make sense in today's session. So we can come again and we can then start, we can have another session probably in the following week or after 2 or 3 weeks, wherein we can only talk about the advanced searches. Now, once you come over here, this particular screen, we'll be referring it to as the dashboards, SCC Online dashboard. So in short, I'll just call it a dashboard. On the dashboard screen, you will see you have the 3 different colors of tiles. One is a blue color tile, which is denoted by the word research plus. The second one is my library, which is the red color tiles. And then you have links, which is various gray color tiles. Now, each tile has a different purpose that will be using this particular tile. Now, the database remains the same, irrespective of what tiles you use. The database remains the same, except the last one. It says LawNet, so it'll give you access to Singapore. Hein Online, I believe we have not taken Hein Online, so Hein Online we can leave that. SCC Online blog is like Live Law website and other India, the Vakil #1 and all. Those websites, like we have our own blogging website, so you can get the information of latest judgment, later amendments, latest news that is happening, that is whatever that is happening in our fraternity, we can talk about that over here. EBC Learning is a different portal. EBC Web Store is for the books. And SCC Online Store is for renewing your account, which you would not need it. The university does it for everyone, so you don't have to worry about the last one. So we'll leave this last tile. We focus our energies on these 2, primarily on the first tile for this session. Now, let me talk about the difference between the 2. When you're doing a research, you would have either something to give to the software, that you either have a party name, you have a citation, or you have a word or a sentence to start the search with, or a judge's name or a citation. So depending on what you have, you will come to the blue tiles. Find by party name is to used when you have a party name with you. A citation will help you only when you can give the citation on the screen. Then a word search will help, like Google. A word search, a sentence search, you can happen over here. The second way of searching, or researching rather, is when you don't have anything specific to give to the software, but you remember that in which head this information will come. Or even better, when you're not researching anything, but you want to upskill yourself on what is available to you under that particular head. So let me start with the red tiles, just to give you an idea of it. I'll just take 2 examples in these in this one, and then move to this blue color search. So first one, I would like to show to all the students and the faculty members. This is gonna be like working for both of the faculty members and the students, because this is the information which has been curated by the editorial department of SCC. So let me click on this. It says browse curated topics. If I click on this, now if you see, it says the curated topic list is here: public law, corporate and commercial law, intellectual property, environmental law, taxation, service law, and others. Now, we all know it. These are the main topics in which the entire law has been divided into. Now, depending on what you want to see, you can select the topic, the principal topic. We take corporate and commercial law. When I click on corporate and commercial law, it's going to give me the list of other topics which comes under this main topic, that is corporate and commercial law. So if you see, it says we have aviation law for you, we have banking and finance, we have e-commerce law, we have debt financing, we have maritime law, we have merger and acquisition, and others. Depending on what you want to need, what you want to see, you can click on that. Like recently, a lot of people have been talking about cryptocurrency. So if I click on cryptocurrency over here, it says the cryptocurrency there are a lot of statutes which governs this topic of law. So what all those topics are, what all those statutes are, if I click on this, it says Reserve Bank of India, Section 45JA, Section 45, Banking Regulation Act, Section 35A, this, and this. Now, if you see, the entire act is not given over here. Only sections have been given over here, which simply means that cryptocurrency does not come or does not being run by one, or governed rather, it would be a better word, is governed by one particular act. There are several acts, and not the entire act, but a section of that act talks about cryptocurrency. And if you see, if I click on this, only Section 45JA of RBI Act opens up over here. I can read it, understand what is being talked about, and then move to the next act and understand that as well. This is going to help the students, going to help the faculty members, to help the students to figure it out, to draw that line that, this is your area, this is your playground, this is your arena that you have to do research. So rather than they wandering around in the entire 1900 central acts, and then 1900 would have few thousands of subsections, this helps, narrowing down that search. Okay. Same thing goes for the next is case law. So if you search for cryptocurrency as a topic, you might find judgments, but now figuring it out which judgment is helpful to me or not, that is a challenge. So over here, the editorial department, like I said, who have created this entire thing, they have picked up 3 judgments and says one is from India, one is from WLR, that is a weekly law report of UK, and third one is, I think, some Indian judgment itself. And now once you click on this, the full judgment opens up over here. You can see it says in Supreme Court of India, before Justice Nariman, Justice Bose, and Justice Rama Subramaniam. Out of the 3 names, one name is in bold. That means the name which is in bold, that is Rama Subramaniam sir's name, he has authored the judgment. The other 2 were just concurring judges, who just have given their opinion and not authored, not written the judgment, right? So we can see it over here, and these are 3 judgments which are handpicked. Then let's go to another one, that's committee reports. So all the reports which are related to cryptocurrency are also available here. Articles, handpicked. These are all handpicked information. Otherwise, if you search for it on Google and all in this software, you might find a lot of other information as well. There we have it. Similarly, now those of you who have any doubt about what is cryptocurrency is basically a digital currency which is now being come in the market, which I think from 2007 or 2008 it started. It is a virtual money. You can't see it, you can't feel it. It is just digitally available. So there's a lot of hue and cry about it, that a lot of illegal transactions happen and the banks are not involved. If I have to send some money to you, I can send my cryptocurrency, bitcoins or other forms of it to you without involving banks. So some of us, some of the people are saying that this is the future of the currency because the banks are not involved. That means you can save on that money that the bank charges for the conversion or for handling your transactions. So just to give you a back of it, and that's why this is now a developing topic of concern. Forget about the law, but it's also a concern that a lot of people will talk about. So yes, for the faculty member, this is a very, very new thing. So you can also read about it. You can see the new law, and then you can help your students update about that, right? Let's go back. I can click on this corporate and commercial law. There are other topics as well. If I see another one, let's take security law. Let's just load up. Now in security law, it says bills, treaties, policy documents. Some new things are adding up. So depending on the topic, these things will change, right? Now let's click on this. By clicking on this, it'll take me back to the dashboard. There we have it. All this information are kept in the same manner. If I click on browse judgment by court, it'll give me a list of the courts. I click on any of this, let's say Supreme Court, and further it says from which year to which year do you need the information. I can say this, the latest decade, 2021, then further month-wise. So this is going to be useful for when you want your students to go through the judgments date-wise from a particular court. So like I can see 5th of March. On 5th of March, the 3 judgments which were decided by Supreme Court of India. Those are available over here. I click on one of this, it'll open the full judgment right here. Okay. One more feature in this, and then we move to the next one. That is browse acts and rules. Now again, this is helpful to everyone, irrespective you're a faculty member or you are a student. You know, there's a constitution of law, and there are a lot of judgments on the different various articles. You can, if you want to click on the Constitution of India, it says Constitution of India, Article 1 to 51A. So let's take this one. It's going to open the entire Constitution of India in front of you, like you can see it, but then it has certain other things available. Now, if you can see, it says socialist meaning and scope of, on this point of law in that in the Bayer Act. On this point, there's a one judgment, there's a one hand pick, this one, there might be so many judgments, but we have picked up one judgment, which is the most important one as far as this topic is concerned. And if you see, expression socialist was intentionally introduced in the preamble by the Constitution 42nd Amendment. Now, what you're reading about over here, it's not the language of the Constitution. It's the language which was used in the judgment when the word was being discussed. And this entire thing was discussed, the brief that is given over here, was discussed in this case, that is D.S. Nakara versus Union of India. Then similarly, there's one judgment on equality. Equality is a basic feature of the Constitution, Indrasani versus Union of India. Very important judgment, we all know about it. And if I click on, if you can see this, then I move there further, secularism, protection of diversity, hate speech and controversial speech. Now, whatever that you're reading over here, these are not available on Google. These are not available in the Bayer Acts. These are something that has been added as a value add by the team that we have. Okay. And now let's suppose on this topic, hate speech versus controversial speech, I want to see which judgment is this. I can simply see this is the latest judgment on this. I can click on this hyperlink. It'll open the full judgment on the screen itself, without me losing where was I at that point of time. So you can see the case is available over here, and you can simply start reading about it. If you're not happy with the case, simply go back. Your Bayer Act is still kept over there. And this is we have done not only for the Constitution of India, but let me click on the Central Acts over here. I click on Central Acts. It gives me a list of acts available over here. Let's take Contract Act. So even in the Contract Act, I can just simply go down. You can see this, right? Void contract, acceptance of offer, forfeiture of earnest money, conditional offer, formation of contract, nature and scope, acceptance. On all these points, there's one or two judgments already given for you. So those students who are reading the Bayer Act, reading a Bayer Act is a theory, but if you want to see how it was applied, you then would have to come over here, read a particular judgment to see what was a theory and how it was applied, how it's practically applied in the courts. That's what it helps you out with. If I click on this, the same thing will happen. It'll open up into a different tab. Yeah. So that's about the browse feature. You can save this, you can email it, you can put it in your folder. I'll show all these things. You can print it as well. I'll show all these top toolbar features in the next examples. Let's go further. Now, as you click on the sub branch, it gives you other options. So you can click on that. You can select that particular information accordingly, right? Now, just give me a moment. Yeah. Now, if you can see this, it says now word search, find by case law, and all the stuff. Now, we're moving from this, we're moving to this one. Let's start with the word search, which I believe everyone knows about. Everyone have done the Google search. I think we have been, conditioned, and we have been, subconsciously we have been trained to do Google search. So I'm gonna build up on the fact that we know Google search. I'm gonna build up on that itself. I'm not gonna teach anything new. I will just be telling you whatever that you learned, how to put it into perspective when you're doing a legal research, and which is not only for this software, for any other legal research software. Okay. One thing once first you come over here, it says enter search term. So whatever comes to your mind, it can be, you're talking about sanction of, prosecution. You're talking about, let's say, culpable homicide. You're talking about, quasi contracts. You're talking about, murder, arbitration, whatever is a topic that comes to your mind. You can just type it over here. It'll search for the topic where it's occurring. Like, let me give you an example. Let's take corruption, right? Now you want to see judgments on corruption. I can simply search with it. That's how I will do it. However, I have seen that how we do it, people who have been new to legal research as a tool, who are not well versed with how the legal research tool works rather. What we do is we just start writing like this. I want to see the latest judgment from Supreme Court of India on corruption. And I do a start search. Now this is what Google has taught us, that you have to mention from which area you need the information, from which era or from which period you need the information, and on which topic. Because Google is meant for everyone. So you need to define the area from where you need the information. If I just search for Supreme Court and not write India, it might give me Supreme Court of US. If I do not write latest judgment, it might give me an old judgment. And obviously the corruption is a must thing because I need that information. So you need to define the area of your research when you are doing a Google research. However, if I do the same search, let's have a look at this. I do a start search. This search will clear your, will bring you at least 70 to 80%, on a percentile of people who know how to research. This is more of a conceptual knowledge of legal research. Now it says we got around 1100 results, the total. Judgments are 908. If I click on this plus sign, it gives you a bifurcation. As in Supreme Court, High Court, District Court, how many courts, have how many judgments on this? It's 103 judgments from Supreme Court on corruption. Okay. And does it say latest judgment? 2019, not the latest judgment for sure. 2018, 2016. There's no certain, format or either, a sequencing that has been that I can see over here. It's randomly being put in. So what we asked for corruption. We got the results for corruption. We asked for Supreme Court of Judgment, Supreme Court of India judgment. We got some other areas as well, not only Supreme Court. So can I select only Supreme Court from the software? I can certainly do that. So if you see, if I take my cursor under the judgment, it says Supreme Court, Privy Council and all. The moment I take my cursor in front of any of these tabs, right, and in front of any of these tabs, it gives me the option of only. What does only works is if I click on this, it will select that particular database and deselect the remaining database from my search. There we have it. So now, earlier it was 1100 because it had everything, bills, notification, district court judgments, high court judgment and all. But now it has 103 because that is the number written in front of Supreme Court. But we are still left with one thing, that it is not showing me the latest judgment. How do I see that? So for that, I will come and search for sort by. If I click on sort by and I say chronological latest first, one click on this. And now we have Supreme Court of India judgment on the corruption topic, and it's coming from 19th of January 2021. Now, we will be really happy. 19th of January is the latest judgment. Yeah, it's just 2 months old. There'll be no latest judgment apart from that. The second latest is 21st of September last year. Now let's keep these numbers, in our virtual, parking lot. So we got total 1100 results. We got Supreme Court judgment 103. The latest judgment was 19th of January and the second latest was 21st of September. Okay, let's go back. Mohit, could you please confirm how many members have joined in on Teams? We click on this and we go to word search.
Sir, 55 around.
Okay, thank you. Now what we're going to do is we've learned one thing. The latest option is there. I can select from the drop down. Supreme Court selection is also there. So I don't need these things. So what do I need to search with? Just the word. That's for the reason I say in the starting that I will only search with one word. And now let's see what is the difference. See, the problem with the legal research software or the problem with the knowledge is, as in journal, there is so much of knowledge which is available, and you cannot, sometimes if you've done a wrong research, you cannot say that you have got all the information or you have missed out on all the information. So it is very important for us to, try starting this practice of that. How can we use the software to get the maximum results so they can ensure there is nothing being missed out in the search. So just one word corruption from 1100, the result have been jumped to 56,000. Big number. Supreme Court was 103, we got around 2100. Let's take only. The latest judgment was 19th of January and the second latest was 21st of September, right? Let's see this. Relevance, latest first. Now let's have a look. It says 3rd of March, 21st of February, 3rd of February. Let's see 19th of January is coming on the 8th number. So if one of us would have gone to the court and said the data judgment is of 19th of January, so on this topic, the court would have, might taken your, what you suggested, but the other counsel might have just said that, my friend, you have not done your homework. And the second latest was 21st of September. Now see, 21st of September, where is it? I can't even see it in the list now. On 25th, it's 25th entry. So we were losing out on at least 23 judgments apart from those two. Would you like to do this? I don't think so. If I would have been in your place, I would have never skipped 24 judgments, especially when it's a recent judgments. Okay, so that's one important thing. Let's go back to word search. What can we do apart from this? Can we do, like a sentence searches? Can we do, can we try 2-3 words? Certainly you can. There's no problem with that. Now, for that, let's take an example. There are few cases wherein, situations rather, wherein the postmortem is not significant. The court says the postmortem is not significant, wherein you know that what happened, it was let me take an example of Indira Gandhi case, Indira Gandhi assassination case. Someone's mic, please, please mute your mic. Thank you.
Taken care of.
Yeah. So I think Mohit, if next time someone mic just goes unmute, just call out their name so that they also know that their mic has been unmuted. Sometimes it just happens by mistake.
Sure.
So now this the case of Indira Gandhi assassination, everyone knows, and everyone knew that she was shot at point blank. So there was no postmortem required for that. But how can I search for such query? Now for that, I'm going to write postmortem. Now postmortem is 2 word. As you all know it, right? Now, whenever you're searching for the legal word phrases which consist of 2 words or 3 words, let's take postmortem, public interest litigation, locus standi, let's take a void agreement or void contract. All these words which are made of 2 or 3 words, it's recommended that you put double inverted commas. What's going to happen with double inverted commas is it's not going to search for post-mortem as individual words. It's going to search post-mortem as one word. Okay. And the next thing that I need is significant. Okay. Now see, if I write something, it just gives me some, my software gives me an option that do you want to search for significant, or there might be another word which can be used in this place of significant that is necessary. I like, no, I need it. I'm good with this. Now I can start search right away. Now one thing that we learned is that is double quotes. Now the third thing that we would like to learn in this search is, if I do a start search right now, it's going to search for postmortem and significant anywhere that is coming in the document. But my purpose is that I want the postmortem and the word significant should come in the same sentence, which will help me identify, make a sense out of that two words. Because postmortem is coming in the first paragraph and the significant comes in the last paragraph. It's not what I'm looking for. So I want these words to appear near to each other. So when you want something to appear to near each other or come near each other, you write the word near in between. So I want postmortem to occur near, come near significant. That's it. And start search. Now in this, humongous or huge database, searching for these two and getting the results is as simple as this. Postmortem when not significant, as per Justice Oza, that is postmortem examination becomes important only in cases where the cause of death is to be established and is a matter of controversy. And this is the same case, Kher Singh versus State, that is of Indira Gandhi case, and then there you have it. Research is not, research softwares are not difficult to search. What is difficult? Formation of the query. And that is only difficult because we have to unlearn the way we have been doing research on Google. Once you understand that less is more, you write, you keep it short and simple, you get more results. Once we are clear with this concept, then there's no looking back. Then you get better results. I personally have been working with SCC from past 9 years now. And I have taken years to master the skill of research, and this is not something I do it every day for a couple of hours. And considering that you are in the learning phase, you are going through the law, this will not only help you in the research but also help you understand the concepts. So I think there's no shying away from these softwares. You would need to use it. You don't use it today. You might not use it in the first year, second year, third year, or in the final year. But you would need to use it when you go out in the law firms, in the corporate, or in the in the litigation. You would need to use it because the judges are using it. So if you don't use it, and the judge is using it, the judge would not want his officer of the court not to be prepared before him when he comes to the court and waste the time of the court. So you need to step up the game. Okay. Let's go back to this thing. We'll come back to word search if the time allows. We'll move to the next one now. Let's take this words and phrases. Mohit, let's have some interaction. Why don't you give me some? Why don't you ask me some searches? I can start giving my examples, but I think let's you ask the queries, okay, and let me answer the query. How can I do that? Okay.
Sure, sir.
Go ahead.
I'm going towards words and phrases, right?
You ask me a query, I'll tell you how I find it.
Okay. Sure, sir. So, sir, what if I wanted to find a meaning of a word with respect to a legal meaning? Like, for example, we all know what's the meaning of bail. But in the legal terminology, I quickly wanted to know what's the official meaning of a word bail.
Bail.
How can I find it?
Right. So when you're looking for the definition of a particular word, we have made a dictionary available over here for you. That is words and phrases. Okay. So if I click on this words and phrases, it'll give me this option. It'll say type the word that you want. So you said bail, right? So
Yeah.
BAIL, that's it, and show. Now within few seconds, it's gonna give me the definition of bail and not from one source. So let me talk about the source as well. It's giving you 2-3 sources. One, if this particular word has been defined in a judgment, so that will come over here. Second, if it has been defined in a particular act, that will come over here. If it has been defined in a particular dictionary that we have inbuilt over here, that is Wharton Dictionary of Law, it will also give you that. So let me show it to you. So you look at the word bail. So the first definition that you see, it's going and it ends at this place. Can you see this?
Yeah.
And then
So
it says, A.K. Gopal University, State of Madras. You know what does it mean?
no.
It means that this particular definition was coming from this particular judgment. In this judgment, the Lordship had defined this particular word.
Okay, that's the whole meaning of a word.
That's a whole mean. That's a word. Word bail has been defined in the judgment in so many words.
Oh.
The second definition. So we are not done yet. The second definition is coming from a different judgment. That is Vaman Narayan Ghia versus State of Rajasthan. The third definition is coming from another case. That is this. There's a fourth definition, and the fourth definition, if you see, is coming from what? What means it's a Wharton dictionary. This is a dictionary definition. So this way, any word you say, let me add another word to it. Let's take this bania. What does bania means?
Bania.
Bania is a upper portion of the sugarcane. Now, a lot of us would be thinking bania is a caste, which is called bania, right? It's not the same bania like a caste. Like one we have Gujjar, we have Bania, we have Pandits, we have what else? Jains, all this stuff. So this is not that bania. This is bania. Bania is the upper portion of the sugarcane, which is not millable, which you chop it off in the before you take the harvest of sugarcane to the mills. So this way you can type in anything and this starts giving you options. So even if you don't remember anything, you can simply start with that. Backward class, it'll give you the meaning of backward class, what backward class means. Do not mean the same thing as backward caste or backward community. The members of an entire caste or community may be backward in the social, economic, and educational scale of values and may form a backward class, which means a homogeneous section of people grouped together because of certain likeness or common traits. Now, see, the reason I'm taking you through these common words is because in the normal day-to-day language, these words means a lot different. But when we start coming to our legal dictionary, this words makes a lot of different sense. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why we need legal dictionary. We cannot go to Google and search for bania or backward class. Because backward class is gonna give me the meaning of backward caste. Okay. So that's the word search, that words and phrases that will come in handy with your search. What else, Mohit? Mr. Raina, even if you have a question, you can ask.
Sir, how can I search some case laws on particular sections of law? For example, nowadays I quickly wanted to know some case laws on, you say, IPC 302, punishment for murder. How can I see that?
So for that, we click on this. There's an option of find case law by section. So this is the fastest way of doing it. You can also do a search from word search, but I'm going to show you that. Find case law by section. Now, as you said, you have a section and you have an act name, right? Two things. First thing, it says find a section of an act. So first we have to open the act. So IPC is what you're looking for. I can write IPC or I can write penal, whatever is easy for you, what is convenient for you. Don't write the word Indian. We have taken the word Indian from it. So Indian Contract Act, Indian Penal Code, Indian Arms Act. Indian is not there. Try the second word. So Penal Code, and you said 302.
Yeah.
Mohit, we just have to click on, we have to just scroll down to get to the 302. So there we have it, section 302, punishment for murder. Just double click on this or click on go, whatever is convenient. And the work is done. That's it.
Oh, okay. So
Section
basically
302.
just select the sections and then you can just bifurcate via categories.
Any section. You type the act name, it will give you the full list of all the sections that are there. So IPC, it was giving till 500. If you open Contract Act, it'll give you that. If you open IBC, bankruptcy and insolvency, it'll give you that. Evidence Act, it'll give you all that information. Let me show you
But
one more example.
This is, sir, for the current slide, I have one more question that currently I'm seeing only entries with D, but I do not see any judgment.
Okay, so I think I will explain this example more in detail, but let me give you an idea of this. It says D2. D means it's a digest note. It's only a head note of the case, and 2 means how many judges were part of the quorum. So what you're seeing right now on the third screen, if you see, it says basically what happens is whatever you select in the first column gets displayed in the second column, if you remember the only option, and whatever you select in the second column get displayed in the third column. So if you see the third column now, it says Penal Code section 302, 149 and 34 is being discussed. It's just a small brief. It's just the law point of that case. And the case is Raghubir Singh versus State of Punjab. And this is citation. And that's what you see over here, only the head notes. If you want to see judgments, there are 2 ways to see a judgment. I can click on this hyperlink. It'll open the judgment of wherein this particular point was discussed. Or I can come over here and say only judgments. When I do that, this D will change to J. So J means a full judgment. D means a law point, one law point. I think I'll explain this if this question has been answered. Can I explain this in further details, Mohit?
Sure, absolutely, sir.
I'll take an example of party name search. Okay. Let me take this case of let's take Supreme Court. Let's take Supreme Court. Now in this, you can take Supreme Court, High Court and all. If you have any question that, I don't remember this case was from Supreme Court or High Court, I can click on all jurisdiction. I'm taking this case that is Praful B. Desai case. Okay, Praful B. Desai versus State of Maharashtra. Now let's search for this. Let's see how many results we get. I think it's going to give me a lot of results. Oh, only this one. So let me take this one. I'm taking this. That is 203 case. And I say, oh, okay. Now it's going to open only one judgment. Now see this. Now it says one judgment, 14 points of law. That is 14 head notes. So in SCC, what we do is we go through the full judgment and we make head notes for whatever points that we discuss in one judgment, so that you don't have to read the full judgment to understand what the judgment is about. Now see, this says J2. 2 means that this is how many judges were there in the quorum. Now if you see, it says Justice Variava, Justice Agarwal, right? And then Mohit, can you just, I think your mic needs to be muted for a moment. Yeah. Thank you. So if you see SN Variava and Justice Agarwal, so out of 2, 1 name has been bold, that means he has authored judgment, and 2 is there, that's why the 2 number is there. J means full judgment, so full judgment is available over here. Head notes on the top, and you scroll down, you'll get the judgment from here. But now if you see, it says D2, and D are 14. 1, 2, you keep scrolling down, you'll get 14 numbers, so 15, that means 1 judgment and 14 head notes. What is the essence of this? Why do we need head notes? Now see this. It says the first point of law which was discussed in this case was Criminal Procedure Code, CRPC, talking about section 273 of recording of evidence. Other one was talking about 273 evidence to be taken in presence, and then talking about Evidence Act and so on and so forth. Now if I take this one law point, it tells me what the case was talking about. One of the points of law. It says recording of evidence by the way of video conferencing held permissible. Now, a lot of us, we know that when you're taking a recording and evidence through video conferencing, there's a lot of doubts that a judge would have on his mind, because you don't know when the video conferencing, like what is happening right now, you can see what is happening in front of the camera. There might be another person, there might be some screen which will be placed right behind my camera, and I would be reading through that, or I've been asked to go through, read the same thing, or is someone standing and just trying to threaten me to not to say anything. So that, that free environment that the person is giving, recording the evidence without under any pressure. Those things sometimes members say, or judges say, that video conferencing is not permissible. So this judgment was very, very important and has laid down the guidelines of when you're doing a video conferencing, how, first of all, it is permissible, but then what all things will be taken care of when you're doing that. Now we see the second point, it says evidence to be taken in presence of accused. The term presence used in section 23, meaning held, does not mean actual physical presence in the court, since plain meaning brought out was intended, dictionary meaning not considered, word and phrases presence. So they are going with that. The CRPC says that it should be the presence, the accused should be present by any way, either physically or by virtually. But then other things will also taken care of, which will help you understand that how particular evidence has to be recorded. So this gives an idea. I'll add another thing in this. I don't know if this would be your question or not, but would you be interested, Mohit and Mr. Raina and other members, to see if a judgment is overruled or not?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Now, how do you see it? How do you see it, Mr. Raina? You go to Google?
Yes, we go to Google, we do the search on our search engine, or maybe some other freebies like maybe we have Vakil number 1 or some other free portals that we.
Let's do that. Let's take this case of Golaknath versus State of Punjab. We know it's overruled.
Yes.
I'm going to say on Google, Golaknath versus, I have to write everything, right? Because I don't know, State of Punjab, right? And after writing this, I'll say, is it overruled? So, significant, Parliament passed 24th Amendment to abrogate the Supreme Court judgment. It also overruled Golaknath, and thus all the previous amendment which was held valid are now upon to be reviewed. Let's take India Qanun, because that is coming on the top. Let me take this. It says, what does it say about overruled? What does it say about anything about overruled? Let's do a find.
Yeah.
Overruled. So it is a Sanskari Prasad case were to be overruled. So this is talking about the previous case. Let's take the next. It was the sooner it was overruled, the better for the country. So this is the judgment itself. So not required to us. Third one, against Sanskari Prasad. So it nowhere tells you that it is overruled, and but you know it that this is overruled. But how do we figure it out on which point of law it is overruled? I go back. Let's take something. I'm just taking it randomly. These are first time I'm opening these documents. I've never opened this. So it says overview analysis. So overview analysis, I should get something. So some student from Symbiosis Law School has done this effort and done it. Symbiosis Law School already have SCC online, so I would not be surprised if they have already put it over here. Let's do the same thing over. So it says fundamental right feeling that the cancer analysis is. So again, this is a Sanskari Prasad, again the previous older judgment. Another one, it was overruled to some extent another landmark judgment in the case of subsequent Bharti. So this student has done some work, because he says this case of Golaknath, I think it was of year 67. If I'm not correct.
Yes.
Yes, 67, right? So in 67, it says you can't go further. Register now. You've done too many free search. Okay, I know I want. So now it says in 73, due to these kind of problem in the judgment, it was overruled to some extent in another landmark judgment in the case of Kesavananda Bharati. Now, it still doesn't say on which points. Now, let's come to SCC, okay? And remember how much time we have spent to find that is something overruled or not. Now, let's do the same thing. Party name search, find my party name, okay? Go to Supreme Court. Because it's a Supreme Court judgment, I know it, right? I can do all judgment as well if you want to, whatever you feel like. And write just the word Golak. Don't have to write full party name. First thing, it gives me 5 results. Now, if I want to narrow it down, I can write the second party name as well. Not the full name. Golak Punjab Nath, any format, in any sequence, okay? From 5, it would reduce to only 1 because these 2 names are only coming in one judgment. I click on the 67th judgment, go. Now this will get interesting. Now let's have a look. It says there were 11 judges quorum, 120 points of law we were discussed. Now how would we figure out if something is overruled or not? Simple, very simple thing. You open a case, there's an option of sub-search, search within search result. Come over here, write the word overruled. That's what we did over there, right? Control F. Control F over here. 120 results down to 15. 1, 2, 3. This one is not overruled because it does not have an exclamation mark. Wherever you have this red exclamation mark, let me zoom. Wherever you have this red exclamation mark, these points of law has been overruled. And not only this, if I click on this, the judgment was overruled on point 368, Article 368 of preamble. It was overruled in Kesavananda Bharati. The second point of law, which we're talking about 368, but the scope of amending power. Third one, nature of power. The fourth one is about implied limitation and all the stuff. Now, within less than, I think, a minute, I get to know if the judgment is overruled, because then it will come in sub-search, but then also talking about on which point of law it was overruled. So out of 15, I think 12, because 3 does not have this redemption mark. 3 are not overruled, so 12 are overruled. So out of 120, I think 108 points of law of this judgment are still a good law.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
You know? Because see, this kind of research, I remember, that reading judgment of S.P. Gupta in my initial years when I joined the company, and it was given to me by my boss, Mr. Sanjay Kapoor, my mentor. He said, find the judgment, and the judgment is overruled or not. And the judgment was running into 800 pages. He gave me, I think, 4 days to read the judgment. And I said, yeah, 4 days is good enough. I was reading in the office. I was reading when I came back to home. And it still took me, I think, more than 2 weeks to read through each and every point of law and to figure it out on which point are they saying that is overruled or not. Because in that judgment, it was not written. I had to go through other judgments to figure out which was overruled. So reading so many lengthy judgments, it takes a lot of time. But this saves that time, okay? I can take a printout of this. I can email it. All the stuff is available where. Let me take another example quickly. I think time is running out now for us. I can search by famous case names. If you don't remember the party name, if you remember the famous titles given to the cases. Triple Talaq case, the name was Shaira Banu versus this. Ram Janmabhoomi case, that was M. Siddiqui versus Suresh. Babri Masjid, Ram Janmabhoomi again. Babri Masjid would now not be Ram Janmabhoomi. My mistake. Something going wrong in this. Sorry. Take Bombay Blast. Yeah, Yaqub Benin. So Bombay Blast, Mumbai Blast, they are two different. If I say for Mumbai Blast, then it'll give me another thing. LGBTQ. So this, I've already searched for, that's why it's coming over here. I can search it over here. Whatever that you write, it will just give you the search that you like say, Abolition of Privy Purse case. Again, a very important judgment. Madhav Rao Jivaji Rao Sindhya versus Union of India. I click on this. So if you don't remember the party name, you can do this. I think let's go to the next search. I think we have understood the party name search. Let me go with the next search. Mohit, if I can just quickly do this, and then we can take the question answer. Will that be okay?
Yeah, absolutely, sir.
I think we're just left with one search. That is find by topic. I'll just let me quickly
Sir,
do.
compendium is also left.
Oh yes. So find by topic is similar to word search, but in this it gives you the ELD digest. If you want to see topics under which topic this particular topic comes in, so let's take this legitimate. So what I mean to say, legitimate expectations. If I search for this, it says legitimate expectation comes under administrative law, doctrine of maxims, and service law. Under which topic do you need that information? I can search with that and search on Go. So it's going to search for legitimate expectation without me typing for it. So that's what the search does. Okay, so we can see the administrative law, legitimate explanation is there. So this is quite similar. Find my topic is quite similar to word search, but with this, it's a systematic search for the students who are starting with the research. They need to understand that this topic comes under which principal topic. So that's how it helps. Find by citation. Find by citation is simple. You have a citation with you, SCC, AIR, Indian Appeals, DRJ, DLT, ALT, ALD, whatever that you have is, you can simply search with that. Okay, let's take AIR for example. Let me take 2020, volume 1. Sorry, page 1 is a volume 2. There's no volume in this. Start search, and there you have it. So irrespective of any citation that you have, you can search with it. Now let me show you a couple of things over here. I can save it. I can click on this. It'll say how many pages of judgment do you need. I say I just need a couple of pages. I can say save. It'll be saved onto your machine. I can email it by clicking on this. I can email it to someone by selecting the page. By selecting the email ID, I can remove this ID, put anyone else's email ID as well. I can take a printout. Now in the printout, there are two options. One is a TP, that is true print, which we spoke about in the starting. The next one is a non-true print. A non-true print would be an internet printout. There's nothing great about it. With a true print, if I click on this, it asks me that, do you need the full judgment? I say I just need a couple of pages. Print. And those of you who have seen the actual print in the law reports would agree with me that the print that I'm going to show you right now matches the same layout. There we have it. The same layout. The SCC Online True Print is given over here, which is a stamping of trust that this document is authentic. First page, second page, and a couple of more pages that you are asked for. Depending on how many pages do you ask for, it gives you the results, right? Now, apart from this, if I click on Judges Khanwilkar name who has authored a judgment, if I click on this, it jumps me to the judgment part. I can copy a particular paragraph either by highlighting. I can highlight a particular paragraph and I can do Control-C, Control-V. But there will be few judgments which will not let you highlight. And how do you copy that? In those scenarios, you would have these icons over here. Okay, so you have to click on these icons. Like this judgment would not let me highlight. So you click on as many paragraphs that you need, like the 10 at one time. Once you're done with this, you come to this one. Okay, this option. So I click on Smart Copy. These paragraphs will be copied into a different window with the party name and the citation by default. And then from here, you can email it to yourself or email it to anyone else as you like. Or you can copy it as much as you want from here, do a Control-C, Control-V, it works from here. So Smart Copy is required. You need to click on these things and then click on Smart Copy, right? In case you want to save this particular document into your folder, on the online folder that we have for SCC Online, so you can also do that. You can click on this. It says add to my SCC Online folder. I can click on this. I can change folder. I can click on my folder. If I have already made a ICFAI folder, I would have to see if I have made any ICFAI folder. No, it doesn't really show any ICFAI folder over here. So I click on my folder, I click on new folder. I'll give it I make a new folder for my search because that is for like ICFAI. So just, okay, it's gonna take some time for reason. Okay, ICFAI and enter. Select folder, my folder has been made, ICFAI, okay, this has been saved, right? Similarly, I can make another search, or let's take this one itself. And let's take the judgment. I want the full judgment, so I've clicked on the citation. And I will then click on this ICFAI folder. Okay, so I've been saved, right? So that's how it can be saved. So I've made 2 folders saved. So before I get to the how to show you the folders, you can simply visit the folder from here. There's one more thing which is left. That is this. What is this? This is case reference. This means that if I want to see where all this Gersing case was cited, referred, or taken as a precedent, I want to see all the cases that which were dealt on the similar lines. I can click on this. One click on this, it'll show me all the cases where Gersing was taken as a precedent or was cited in any way, so there you have it. Kanhai Mishra, in this case, it was relied on. In Pyar Kaur, this case was, it says that you should refer to this case, you should see this case. In this, it's a Gersing was cited. In this case, Suman Sood, Gersing case along with other cases were relied on. You can see it over here at the bottom, and so on and so forth. I can see all that with just one click. Okay, let's end the session with one very important information. How can I access my folders? That is, go to my folders, view folders. I will be able to see my folders right over here. My ICFAI folder is here. Now, those of you students who wants to make a compendium, either for your submissions, either for your research, or for your moot court competition, you spend a lot of time taking printouts and then numbering each and every page and then putting the page in a certain sequence. What if I give you all that inbuilt in the software, and irrespective how big is the judgment, how big is your compendium, it'll not take more than 1 minute. How do you do it? You open your folder, like you've seen how you open a folder. You click on the folder ICFAI that you have selected. Select the documents that you want to make a part of your compendium. So I say select all, both of them. Come to this action icon and then move to the last one, that is create case compilation. Okay, one click on this, it'll do some, make you a different website, a different screen. That's a ICFAI, that's the name of my folder. Is that what you want to name your folder, as a compendium folder? Yes. Just say create. You had asked for 2 judgments, which were running into, I think, a couple of few double-digit numbers. Now, if you see, Gersing versus State of Delhi admin, the citation is here. Second case is P. Gopal Krishnan, State of Kerala, that is here. So first case is running from page number 1 to page number 142nd, and from 143rd, the new judgment comes up. And over here, you can also type anything that you need as a reference. Okay, you can bold it, you can highlight it, whatever that you like, you can do that, and you can simply save it. Simply all you have to do is download this after you've made the table of content, and then take a printout, and then you go to the next page, that is documents. It comes over here. So page number 1 is given over here. If you go till page number 142nd, there we are. So 142nd, my case ends over here. That's the last and 143rd. The Gopal Krishnan case should open up, and there we have it. 143rd case opens over here. Okay. So there we have it. So this is the simple way of doing a search, and then you can simply do it. Okay. So now we are done with the session. Now you can simply, I think, open up the question answer. So now the forum is open for question answer. If you have any question, please have have it over here. Mohit, just take a question answer. There's someone at the door. I'll just tell him what to do.
Sure. Members can raise their hand and let us know whether do you have any questions or not. Otherwise, you can also unmute yourself and can let us know. I repeat, members can raise their hand to let us know whether they have any questions or not. In the meanwhile, I'll just leave the phone numbers of our company and the email address through which you can reach out to us.
Anyone from on YouTube, if you have any questions on YouTube, you can also put it in the YouTube chat. That's open right in front of me. So if you have any questions, we can also address it over there itself. Any faculty members, anything that you would have a question? I was expecting a lot of questions considering the faculty members and ICFAI has its own name. So I was thinking that there will be a lot of questions. Anyone? Can I request any?
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Aishwarya.
So am I audible?
You're audible, Aishwarya. Tell me.
Yeah. So generally when I go for judgment searches on internet or even Manupatra or any other websites, so I literally need to go through the whole case and then in the ending, somewhere in the ending, I find the judgment, which is not even, satisfying. So I saw this of yours, so I think this might be quite satisfying because you're directly getting the judgment there.
You're getting judgment
At
and
least
moreover,
the things
Aishwarya,
which is required, we can just go through it.
I think, what is more important, Aishwarya? I think getting a judgment is not a challenge because see, getting a judgment, you can get it easily. What is a major challenge that we face as a researchers, right? Is that when you're doing a research, you need to go through the full judgment. And then, you might come to a conclusion that, oh, this judgment is not even relevant to me. Okay?
Yes, sir.
What I'm going to show you something when next time you're doing a research, okay?
Yes, sir.
We did this search, postmortem near significant. Now, you might get so many judgments on this, but the way you should do a research is like this. There are 5 head notes. You should read only these 5 first. So I say only 5. Because what is going to happen is it's going to talk about only that point of law that is relevant to your research. If you read this, you now understand, okay, this case is relevant to me. If you go to the next one, it says health fact that no postmortem was conducted and is extremely significant. Now, if you see, this is totally opposite what we were asking for. We said when postmortem is not significant. But in this search, it says fact that no postmortem was conducted is extremely significant. So there's something opposite to what we're looking for. So you will not go in this judgment. Let's search the third one. It says, however, postmortem doctor found no injuries in the hand of deceased would raise significant doubt in prosecution case. Now, this is not something relevant to what we are talking about in the context that we're talking about.
Yes,
the next one. So what we're doing is you're just reading the points of law. It is significant to note that as per the post-mortem report, this is not even relevant to us. You go to the 5th one, and you can simply jump to that particular word. Post-mortem report and testimony thought not significant. Now, out of all these 5, I just have one judgment which is relevant to me. Once I have this, I can then click on this citation. When you click on this citation, this will open the full judgment into a different window. Now, this is the time I should read the judgment because now I know that this case is relevant to me.
Yes, sir.
Right? So that's how it should work. You should not read the full judgment. You should read the head note first and then decide, save your time, and then decide which judgment is relevant to you, which is not.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome, Aishwarya, and thank you for asking this question for others as well. Yes, I think Anvesha, please unmute yourself.
Yes, Mr. Chetan, if I'm not saying your name wrong. Mr. Chetan, I wanted to ask if I can search for Supreme Court guidelines on a particular topic, because usually what happens is when I do a Google search or even on other platforms. When I search for specific guidelines, I am not able to find out which was the base or primary case on which it was laid down in, and then later in which case it was reiterated. It comes as a mixed up set of judgments.
Ma'am, it will help you, because when you're doing a research over here, what happens is, if you're looking for some guidelines which were laid down for other future judgments, right? Which that like in this like we've decided a particular thing, and then also that going forward, this is the new norm, or this is a new law of the land that has to be done. All that information is kept in the head note part itself, because what happens? Yeah.
You know, for example, I'm saying that, for example, on circumstantial evidence, if I look for guidelines, I usually come across Sharad, Birdich, and Sarda, in which the 5 principles were reiterated, but that is not the original judgment. And I only can find the original judgment when I read a book or when I find it from another source, but I want to find it directly.
I can tell you. Yes.
Yeah.
So what happens is we do this. We do a footnoting. What footnoting means is that any judgment which were taken as a precedent in our case, on which the base was brought in from other case, we give you the referencing over here. Can I take the same case that you have given an example of?
Yes. So I know that there is footnoting, but can I not get is there any way where I can directly search for the primary case without knowing the name of the case?
Ma'am, if you're looking for a topic wise, then you can search for it. Yeah. Topic wise. So what was the topic that you said?
Golden principles on circumstantial evidence.
Okay.
Just as an example.
Okay, which is okay. So circumstantial evidence. Now there's 2 words, so I can search with this. Now when I search for this, right, and now you're saying that it says golden principles of circumstantial evidence, I can search for golden word, but I think I'm just gonna search with this right now and start search. When we search on this topic, it's not gonna give you only the topic which are recent. It's gonna give you all the topics which have been on which this, all the judgments on which circumstantial evidence was being discussed.
Yes, of course.
So in this, now you have 2-3 things. Now because you have raised this question that you don't remember the party name and you don't have anything substantial, because circumstantial evidence is a wide topic of research. I can give you 2-3 things which will narrow down to your search, which might point it out like one judgment out of it, but at least narrow down from thousands to probably few double-digit numbers. How can we do it? First way is I can come over here and say, is it a Supreme Court judgment that I'm looking for, or is it a High Court judgment? So if it's a High Court judgment, I can open the High Court over here by plus sign. I can click on particular High Court. Let's take it's a Supreme Court judgment. I can say only. So the judgment results which were 30,000, now we are down to 1,600. That's one, which you have shown earlier as well. Second thing, I can also filter by years. Now, if you see this, I don't want the historical data. I remember that this judgment that I'm looking for was from, let's say, from the period of 1905 to, I just load up, and to, let's take 2012. Now that's a second filter. Now, ma'am, let me ask you this. Do you remember the judge's name by any chance?
No, see, that is what my question is, because this is a case that I know. So I already know the name of the parties, so I can search for it. But a few years ago, I was researching on a particular topic, and what happened was I got confused between 5 or 6 cases, and I was not able to find out at like a go as to which case were the guidelines set up in. For example, honor killing, the Shakti Vahini case is the case where it was laid down. But when I know it because I am a criminal law person, but when I'm looking for judgments in other subjects in which I'm not very familiar with, so I want to get that in 1 or 2 searches. And I really don't remember the name of the judges, or in fact, I don't know anything about the case. So,
Ma'am,
like I said,
ma'am, can I come in? Yeah, Chetan, can I come in?
I'll just answer it. Do you have something to add? I just complete one answer which I was saying. Sanjay?
Yeah. You want to complete? Please complete.
Yeah. So, ma'am, like I said about the head notes, in head notes, anything which is like, if you see this head note right over here, right, it is not a part of the judgment. So this gives you the history as well, that, this is editorial remarks. So usually we give that information available over here. But if you don't have a party name and if you're looking for a topic of your choice and it's a vast topic, then going through by narrowing down, doing by this search will just help you get there. But I think head notes will be one place where you'll be able to see that where is the information is laid down, because that is extra work over and above the judgment has been decided.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
I think Sanjib, my colleague Sanjib has something to add.
Yes, sure.
What I understood, once she get hold of a judgment and she wants to know the source of that particular judgment, where this concept came up from, or what is the source. So basically, what you do the case referencing. Once you do the case referencing, you get the entire history where this judgment has come from. So if you sort it in date wise, you'll get the entire history of that particular judgment.
And how do I do the case referencing? Can you just, you've already told it also, can you just repeat it once?
Sure. We take this example. I'm not really sure if there's any of this case has been cited or not. So let me show it to you.
We can go with something like Bachchan Singh.
Yeah, let's take the Bachchan Singh case. Yeah. So I'll open the Bachchan Singh case. So Bachchan Singh. Sorry. Bachchan Singh. There we have it. And Bachchan Singh, it was state of Punjab, if I'm correct. But which one was it? There's so many.
Basic structure. Actually, the basic structure concept came from basic feature from a Pakistani judgment. So if you build up the history, you'll see the entire history is built up.
Let me take another case. Let's take SP Gupta. Or I have a very important example. I think Kali Ram case. It was actually a case which was decided.
Kali Ram, yeah.
Kali Ram. Now I'm again getting confused. Kali Ram was Kali Ram versus. Do you remember the other party name with this? Kali Ram versus.
Out of Himachal Pradesh, if you are looking for that.
I think it is the HP case, yeah.
It was the HP. I think that's the one. 48, 1973, yeah. Now, if I want to see, because this case was subsequently cited a lot of times, and this was the the case which was a backbone of a lot of cases. Now, if I want to see where all this case was cited, and where it subsequently went on, and we can do it both ways, like forward and also backward.
Yeah.
So what Sanjib said, the backward, I'm giving an example of forward. So in either way, it will make sense. Once you open the judgment, we click on this, the case reference.
Okay? Oh, okay. Yes.
Now, if you see, it says one judgment over here. Now the magic will happen over here. One click on this. So 216 judgments. In 216 judgments, you can simply see all judgments which were cited. So had it been like this case, Vinod Chakravarti versus State of MP. If you would have opened this case and would have clicked on this, you would have also got Kali Ram case. And in that, you would have simply come over here and should have said the oldest first.
Oh, okay.
This way it was showed you that particular thing. Otherwise, if you notice one more thing, if you see in this case itself, Vinod Chakravarti, it says Kali Ram and case was followed. So this is the footnoting I was talking about. In the footnoting, we write that, okay, from which cases which were followed and cited in this. So you get point-wise cases which are cited. Like if I take the next one.
So if I open the whole case, the whole judgment, will that also show there?
It will show it over there. Over there, there's a different area which it shows. So let me open this case. It says Prem Kumar Gulati. Yeah. I open this case. And just when these are head notes, when you scroll down further, just before when you have the, the judgment starting, it says chronological list of cases cited.
Cited,
See this? And the beauty of this is it gives you all the cases which are hyperlinked, which were cited, and on the point. Now, if you're reading a paragraph, and on that paragraph you think that, oh, this case is being cited over here, or on this point it is being cited. Now, if you see, it says Mohanlal, or let me say Kaliram. There it is. It says Kaliram versus State of HP. Now, I can click on this. It will open the full judgment of Kaliram. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for on what point was it cited. So I take my cursor right in front of it. It says 654B-C.
Okay.
If I click on this, it will take me to the page
where it is. Yes, I got
it. Kaliram versus State of MP, a 3 bench of court elaborately discussed the mode of fixation of evidence and general principles regarding presumption of innocence of the accused. So this way, you can, rather than reading the full judgment, you can actually see it right over here, what all cases were there, and then jump to that particular point on which it was discussed.
Okay, thank you.
But it's actually a very good question, and thanks, Sanjit, for putting it into it.
I would suggest another thing, especially because I have done this before also with other sites, and I have also used SCC online before when I was a student. But the thing is, especially with finding guidelines, sometimes I have an issue. So I think we can be hopeful that in the next 5 or 10 years you will be building a guideline database from where we can even get the search made easier.
See, there are a lot of things that can be done. And,
yeah, of course. Yes. No, it was just a question, but this clarified a lot of things. Thank you so much.
There's always a room for improvement, and I think we are not shying away from that. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, and I think I really appreciate this session because I found I used SCC online around, I think 2 or 3 years ago. I think there has been a lot of improvement since then. I saw all the features and all. So I really am happy about it.
I could stay for another hour if you talk about new searches, but I think the time which was given to us was limited. And this is a basic and intermediate search. I think the next, after 2 weeks, once members are familiarized, are more used to this software, we can come back for an advanced session, and then we can get into the more of a workshop mode. We can show you all the advanced features which will narrow down that search. I'm not actually going towards that right now because that will be it'll be like opening up a Pandora box. It'll be so many things to discuss. But yeah, having said that, I think what I'm trying to say via this session is that we are open for another session whenever the university has time to give it to us and for the students, and expecting more and more students who can join so that we can answer that. I have a question on YouTube from Akshay Bhatia. Can you please explain the Boolean search method function? Akshay, it's a very simple search. What we can do is Boolean consists of 2-3 type of searches. So we did one search that was near. So basically Boolean, what Boolean means is it consists of 4 types of advanced searches. So one is and, second is not, then is or, and then is near. Each of every word has a different, functionality attached to it. So near, like we discussed, when you want 2 words near each other, you write the word near in between. A near B, so it will search for that. Not, on the other hand, if you look for not, let's take I want the cases of murder, but not murder where knife was used. So you can write murder, not knife. Okay. If you want cases of murder where knife was used, then you write near in between. So what you want, you write near. When you don't want something, you write not. And this you can write multiple times. There's no limit to that, right? But just be in short, by default, the system will click on Boolean. So, but just check it one more time before doing a research. It should be on Boolean, because if you don't click on Boolean, software does it automatically for you. It will search for the not as a word, near as a word. Okay. Then, apart from that, and is not to be used. If you put space in between, it becomes and. Then you have or. Or is used for synonyms, like words which are interchangeable. So let me give you an example which is very, very common. That is suo moto. Okay, that's one spelling. And then you have suo motu. Double quotes. Why? Like we said in the starting, it will make this two words as one word. And in between, I'm going to write or. Now, what if I don't write or and start search with it? Let's have a difference. Suo motu, start search without putting or. It's going to search for both the words occurring in one document, which is rare. So 2000 results, 2100 results, right? Suo motu coming in one document. How I can see it? Suo motu, and moto is coming in one document. That's why. Let's go back. Now let's see the difference. We come over here, 2100 results, put an or in between. By default, Boolean is selected. Start search. You can do it for different spellings. You can do it for, so see, 2000 have jumped to around 45,000. So wherever the two words are coming in one document, it will give you that. Either one of them are coming, it will still give you that. You can search for other words as well, which are interchangeably used. So like, just to give you a very layman example, if you say I'm going to work or I'm going to office, mean the same thing, you can write office or work. Similarly, if you're looking for cases on different words which can be used interchangeably, you can just write the word or. It just will widen your search. Nothing else. I hope. Any other question? Any member? Mohit has mentioned the email address and the toll-free number. The email address is not only for me, it's also for the entire training team. So even if I'm in this training session, someone else would be able to revert to that email. And if you face any teething issues with the search, you can reach out to us. Don't wait for the session to happen. You can write an email to us. We can get back to you, or you can give us a call on toll-free number. They'll help you out with that. And I think if there is no more question, I will end the session with one help that would be relevant, that will be helpful to you in the future as well. When you come on the website, there's a question mark. In question mark, you can click on View User Manual. It'll open up a different website. Whatever that we have learned today, like I said in the starting, everything has been documented. If you want to see copy, it says how to smart copy. Click on that. A manual will open up that do this, and then how you get this. You want folders. So we talked about case compilation, so how to use case compilation feature. I click on that, case compilation feature comes over here. You want near, you write near. Again, the same thing prevails over here. Do not write this entire word, how to do research with near feature. Don't write this. Let's write near Boolean start search. There we have it. Okay, so this will be relevant to you. All you can do is you can simply come over here, user manual, come over here. Otherwise, you can just write scconline.com, and in scconline.com, you can simply prefix help dot. So help.scconline is this particular help center that we made for you. Yeah. Any question? Anything that we would like to that you would like to ask in the session? I can help you. If not, then you can send us your feedback. Anything that you would like us to improve on. Anything that examples that you would like to include in our further sessions. Anything of that sort, you can reach out to us. I think we're more than happy to talk to you. So if I have the permission from the faculty in charge or the library in charge, if there's no further question, we will end the session now. Ma'am, Padmavati ma'am, can you help me? Can you hear me? Or anyone from the faculty can give us a go ahead, and if it's good to close the session. Okay, so I believe there are no further questions, so I will end this meeting, and we'll see you on the other side. And thank you everyone for sparing time and being with us. On behalf of my team, Mr. Sanjeev Chaudhary, Mr. Mohit Singh, Mr. Rajesh Raina, I, Chetan Singh Gill, would like to thank all the members at ICFAI University, the faculty members, the Dean Sir, the Director Sir for helping us arrange the session, and the students foremost to attending the session. To all of you, thank you so much. And on this note, we'll end this session. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. I'm going to end the meeting for everyone together, so you don't have to click on it. Thank you.